Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. I am super excited about today's video because I will be teaching you the classic pass, a move where you can take a card and make it jump to the top. You can also take a card and put it in the middle and make it jump to the bottom. And it's also a great utility because once you have it on the bottom, I'll be showing you a way that you can steal it off, which is good for tricks where you make it appear in a pocket or something like that underneath a lamp. Like, there's lots of different variations. So today I will be teaching you that. And then there is one other version called the Herman pass, which it's a little bit easier and it looks a little different. I'll put a performance of it on the screen right now. But if you guys want to learn that one, go ahead and get this video to about 20 likes. And if we get it to 20 likes, I will make a tutorial of that one as well. But you guys know the gist of it. We're about to get right into that video. But if you do enjoy learning this trick or you're excited about learning it, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 500 and eventually 1,000, as well as hit the like button, and let's get into the tutorial. Alright, so real quick, I'm just going to give you basically a real fast performance of the classic pass, just show you a couple of the quick variations really fast, and then I'm going to break it down how you're going to get into the grip and how the move actually works. Alright, so basically this is how it looks. You're going to have a card selected. In this case, it's going to be the 4 of spades, and if we just give it a bit of a flick like that, you can see it jump right to the top. So that is the one of the moves. You can also do it where you make it jump to the bottom, and it will be face down. And the nice thing, like I mentioned in the intro, is that once you do that, you can then get into don't mind that card, Gambler's Cop, which is this move. I have taught this move on a previous video, which I will put the link in the description. However, this is a great way to get into it. So if you have a card selected and you get into that position where you have that card on the bottom, you can then go right into Gambler's Cop and cop away that card, which is good for if you're doing a card to pocket or really just a card to any position that you need to slip it away after you have them choose it or even sign it. This is a great way that you can have the card signed as well. Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to mention one thing right before we get into the handling and the grip and all that, and I actually teach you the trick. Basically, there's one little tiny similarity or difference in how I perform the classic pass as opposed to most people, and all that it is, which you'll understand in just a moment what this means exactly. But the only difference is that when I do the classic pass and I turn the card face up, most people will put their break here. Again, this will make sense when I explain the trick, but they'll put their break here. I add a card on top, and then I put the break. And that's because whenever I did this, no matter how many times I practice it, I would always yank wherever my break was. When I did the move, I would always pull a card with my pinky like that as I did the move. So I would always be doing the classic pass, and I would end up pulling the card that I needed to get on the top to the bottom. This is great if I want to do the bottom, or if this is great if I was trying to get the card to the bottom, but I wasn't. I was trying to get it to the top. So basically, as you're going to see, the only difference that I have in my variation is that I put a card on top when I'm trying to get it to the top. If you don't want to do it that way, all you have to do is just not put a card on top. But I'll be teaching like that because that's how I know to perform it. Alright, so this is going to be the handling for the classic pass. You're not going to need anything special, just a deck of cards. Basically, the main grips you're going to need to be able to do a spread, which is really easy. And then you're going to have a card selected. You're going to cut it. As I mentioned just a moment ago, I covered the card. And here's what's happening. So let me give you a breakdown so that you can see what's happening. I cover the card, I'm putting it back, and I'm catching a break with my pinky. So you can't really see it here, but back here you can see I have a break, and I'm sticking my finger in here. Here's what's happening. I'm going to be using my middle finger and ring finger to basically lift. This is the slowed version. I'm using these fingers to pull, as well as my pinky. Okay,
So that's going to be pulling this top packet underneath the bottom packet. This is all happening really quick. It looks like this card is just appearing, but what's really happening is you're simply pulling the bottom half. At the same time that you move this, you're going to be pulling this bottom half up really quick. And so what that's going to do is it's going to make it look like that card just jumps or appears on the top. And it's the same thing with the bottom. The only difference is, so if you aren't performing it the way I do, where you grab a card, the way you would do the bottom is you would actually catch a break underneath the 7 like this. So that way when you pull it down, that card is going to be on the bottom. However, if you're doing it the way that I do it, then you would still keep the break right here on the 7, but you wouldn't add a card because, again, I always pull whatever the card is, which in this case would be the 7. So that's the basic things. Let's break it down into the grips. You give it a cut, you cover it. You're going to place the cards centered. First things first, it's going to be up to you how big you want your break to be. Some people do a really small break. However, the nice thing about this move is that generally you're going to have your, in this case, right hand, I am right-handed, you're going to have that covering a lot of the motion, so you won't have to worry as much about the audience seeing the side of it. It's going to be mostly covered by your hand, right? You're just going to stick your pinky in there. And here's what my grip is going to be. My thumb and my middle finger and ring finger on my right hand are going to be mainly what's going to be pulling the bottom packet up. My left hand thumb, this one, is kind of just centering everything to make sure nothing like gets pushed off to the side before I do the move. And you are going to have to get strong with your ring finger and middle finger and partially your first finger on your left hand. This is what's going to be doing most of the pulling under, as well as your pinky. It's going to be these things. So something that I practiced when I first started learning this is just taking about half the cards and just doing this with them. Pretend you're in that position. You have your pinky underneath and these fingers on top, and just pull it like back and forth like that over and over. And so that way you're going to be getting the motion of doing this. It is all going to be one motion, and it's going to be more like you're sliding it out because it happens so quick than it is picking the deck up and pulling under, but that is the main motion. And basically, you're going to want to be practicing this a lot. Like, I practice this for weeks and weeks and weeks, but the amazing thing is when you do get it fast, it does really look like that card is just appearing. And of course, if you do it on the bottom, then they can't really see that anything happened, and you immediately have that card on the bottom, which is in a good position for the gambler's cop or for really anything. You're going to be pulling your fingers to the to the right. So really, I'm gripping this bottom packet with my thumb, middle finger, and ring finger, and I'm yanking it as quick as I can. And as soon as it clicks past, you're automatically going to fold this down. So you're going from here to here, and then pulling this down, putting this here, and squaring up. And so that's what's going to make that 7 jump to the top, just like that. Alright, so I hope that this is enough for you guys to kind of get the best idea on how to do this move. I know that it's there's not a whole lot to explain, and that's because really the biggest thing is just the movement, and I'm hoping with the angles and the slow-mos you can see exactly how it is. You will only get good at if you practice. I'm not even joking. I've been practicing this one for months. I had to wait until I felt that I was good enough to do it, and of course understood it enough to be able to teach it, because it really is a more advanced move. you'll get it down in no time. So if you enjoyed, you guys know to hit that like button so that you can learn the Herman pass as well. But of course, don't forget to subscribe on your way out. You may have mentioned I talked about I would teach you how you can use the Gambler's Cop. But to do that, you need to know the Gambler's Cop. So if you want to check out this video right here about the Gambler's Cop, you can learn how to do that move and further add it into your repertoire. That's going to be it for today's video. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.